Hello everybody, welcome to Revenge Soul Drama Revenge of the Island rewrite. You guys can see a clear difference here. There's no Stacy. The reason is she's a nothing character and we don't care about her at all. I would have added Blaney, but I feel like the better choice would be Anastasia because I'm choosing 3 villains for the next 3 weeks. So Scott will still be the villain of Revenge of the Island, and you'll see who will be the villains in Total Drama Summer Vacation and Total Drama Winter Madness. So yeah, I haven't fully gone up with the script, but the first things first, the old cast will not appear at the beginning of the first episode. All 25 of them will not appear, including Blaney. They will not appear only as th- like things. So the first two to make it is Lightning and Anastasia, but there won't be any play. So what one is they will choose their teams. Lightning will stupidly choose Joe because he only wants strong people here. Anastasia will pick Brick because he needs a strong player that she can manipulate. I think Lightning then just chooses Scott because yeah, I think it's more obvious than he will. I think Anastasia would maybe pick Anne Maria because Anastasia and Anne Maria are kind of like good friends because they were talking while they were running. Then I think Lightning would choose Sam because he wants another dude on the team. I think Anastasia would definitely just pick Cameron because of his smarts, and I think Lightning would just copy Anastasia and just put B on his team, which B is the smarter one of the two. So Lightning's more lucky. Then I think Anastasia would pick Mike because she can manipulate his multiple personality disorder, which she already found out. Then I think Lightning would just pick Dakota because yeah. And then I think between the two, Anastasia will pick Zoe because I don't think she would like Dawn's telepathic abilities on her team. So yeah, in bigger, badder, brutaler. So I think the first elimination, I think it can just stay the same and the mutant maggots get through. So the thing is, Lightning and Joe are gonna vote for each other. Scott wants B out, or Dakota actually. Also Dawn, maybe Sam as well. Sam and Dakota are gonna vote together. I think. I think they'll just get Dawn to vote with them. But I'm gonna say I know it's weird, but I don't like Joe. She's the first boot. Yes, shocking. Yes. Lightning decides to vote with Sam, Dakota, and Dawn to vote off Joe, and it was 3 to 4 votes. 3 for Dakota, 4 for Joe. So yeah. Truth or Laser Shark can mostly just stay the same, but we have Anastasia here instead of Joe. So yeah, I feel like I feel weirdly, truthfully, the same thing could just still happen. But I don't think Dakota would be voted off because she needs a good run, and I feel like Scott will literally will just get everyone to vote off Lightning because he's dumb and a bad team leader. So yeah, he gets voted off early and will not win the season. And I don't think he'll win any of the seasons unless he gets a bit more smarter in the head. So yeah, sorry, you're the second boot, Lightning. Then we have Ice Ice Baby. So Scott will still sabotage his team while B is using the magnifying glass, which does still sadly get him eliminated. He doesn't have a voice actor, so it makes sense to just keep his elimination just the same. Sorry, but too bad. I've got no idea. Then we have Finders Creepers, which I think is the non-elimination episode, but I'm going to make this the Switch episode without anyone knowing. 2 people participate, which would be Anastasia and Scott. Scott and Anastasia switch teams. So yeah, let's just put it as that. Then we have Backstabbers Ahoy. So with Anastasia on the team instead of Scott, the toxic rodents get through. Not totally biased, but I'm telling the truth. So yeah. If I think Scott would maybe target Cameron as the target, and Mike and Zoe will not vote for Cameron. So the only way to do it is make it a tie between him and Cameron gets eliminated. Obviously, he's not strong enough to beat Scott, and it would be a physical challenge. So yeah. Then we have a runway model, which actually first in episode 1, Ezekiel will be cameoing. In episode 2, Cody will be the one to cameo. In episode 3, I think Harold will be the one to be cameoing. In episode 4, Bridget will still cameo. Episode 5, Izzy will cameo. And in episode 6, Lindsay still has the cameo. Let's make the extra row for Chris, Chef, and Lindsay. Oops, okay. Slash. So yeah, in runway model, I feel like, yeah, it's obviously the toxic rodents are gonna pass. Because they have fashion experts here, so it makes sense that the one who gets eliminated is on the mutant maggots. And because he has more leeway, I think he just targets Mike for his. He would just target maybe and like Zoe because she's like annoying, and I feel like she would be the easy one to go. Which this makes Mike livid, and it turns him into his final form. Well, one of his final forms, because Manitoba Smith, but he just turns into Vito, annoyingly, as Zoe gets eliminated, which is kind of sad. But I'm not. I might keep Zoe still alive, but it'll just carry on more in the next seasons, so we can pan out the relationship pretty much. So yeah, a a mine is a terrible thing to waste, which is the double elimination episode. So I feel like one person on each team would just be chosen. Obviously, I feel like Dakota would still get bold, and I feel like this will lead to her elimination. And I think Sam just quits over the fact that they've had a connection for the while, and I'm gonna say that they both just get out in this episode. So sorry, you two are eliminated, which does annoy Anastasia because it's only her and Dawn left. So yeah. Um, then B gets brung back to just to do this episode, and yeah, he just gets instant eliminated because he did the worst in the challenge. So yeah, sorry B fans, he gets to come back for one episode, then gets eliminated for doing something stupid. Sorry. And then we have the merge: Anastasia, Dawn, Scott, and Maria, Brick, and Mike. And it doesn't make sense for Scott to target Mike since Zoe ain't here. But he does not have a good friendship with Mike, so yeah. And Maria would just vote with Mike, and I think Brick and Dawn will. So it's between Anastasia and Scott, but I think Scott gets immunity and still gets immunity. I think Anastasia will get immunity, to be real. And I feel like the one she would target is maybe Anne Maria, because she's like the proper target to target. So sorry, Anne Maria, you are eliminated 2 episodes after your original episode. So yeah, up, up, and away in my pitfall balloon. So Heather will still cameo in this and still the million, but I think Anastasia will just get clear immunity in this because it makes more sense. And I feel like Mike gets eliminated because he has no more story left to do with him in this season. So it makes sense he gets eliminated in this episode. Then we have Eat and Be Wary. So Chef would be the main host in this episode, and Crest still gets injured by the funny yeet into the toilet, and it would be Scott's doing, and Chris says, Scott, you're auto eliminated. It's too bad. The challenge is not actually happening. And he is shocked when he hears this, and he is very annoyed at the moment. He curses Dawn, he curses Anastasia, and he just says, Brick, you better win this, because you're the actual one I actually trust. Anastasia and Dawn are shocked, but Dawn just doesn't really care since she's just been floating all the way here, so it makes sense that either she gets eliminated in the next one or she's in the finale. So in the finale, I think Brick would be the one to get immunity, and Dawn is actually Brick's good friend, so obviously Anastasia gets eliminated. So yeah, sorry Anastasia, you're eliminated on the final three. You've had good luck, but you ain't the main villain, you're just a side villain, but you just beat Scott in just one placement. So the final two are Brick and Dawn. So let's show you the teams that they're rooting for. Anastasia, I think, would root for Dawn since she was the only other person on the team. Scott, Mike, I think Anne Marie would just go on Team Dawn with Team Brick. B on Team Dawn. Dakota and Sam on Team Dawn. Zoe on Team Brick to reconnect with Mike. Cameron as well. Lightning is going to go on Team Brick, and I think Joe goes on to Team Brick. No, this is Team Dawn, sorry. You two, you go over here. So yeah, it's obviously knowing who would win, but I think Dawn has an upper edge, but I feel like in ending one, I feel like Dawn's gonna lose. And ending, in ending one, Dawn suddenly wins, which is shocking. Yes, I'm literally putting that to happen. And then Dawn loses ending two, Brick wins. So yeah. But Dawn's money is just gonna go half to an animal shelter, and she gives the rest of the contestants $500,000, except for Scott, Joe, and Anastasia, and well, just Scott and Joe. So if I do the math, 500k, 500,000 divided by 11, the contestants get $545,454 each, besides Joe and Scott. So yeah, it's a good deal. So yeah, obviously Todd's the obvious winner. But I think if Brick's ending, he gives a bit to Joe, a bit to Scott, a bit to Mike and Zoe, and Cameron. And if I do the math again, it's going to be 1 million divided by about 5, maybe even like 7. That's about £142,857 each. About nearly 284,000 to Scott, Sam, and Dakota. Same to Mike and Zoe. And Maria gets a bit with 142,000. Same with Cameron and Lightning. And I think Scott gets a little bit of money, like 80,000. So yeah, this is a short episode. That's why it's gonna be the episode after the rewrite, well, just Total Drama Extreme, because it's a very short episode, and plus I don't have the time. I'm very busy at the moment when I'm recording this. So yeah, so that's why you got the quick rewrite, and I feel like it would be more preferring because Stacey is a one and done season character. That's why she's never gonna exist in this timeline. But Anastasia does. Yeah, I'm including Anastasia just because I feel like she'd be a better villain for another season coming up. And in the next season, Total Drama Summer Vacation, they'll be introducing 2 more contestants, which are gonna be Amelie Pierre and Benji Hattori. So yeah, these 2 are gonna be introduced. This Adventure Camp will not exist and have different characters. Well, it will still exist, just with different characters. So yeah, Benji Hattori and Amelie are gonna be in Total Drama Summer Vacation with the cast. So yeah. This will be the cast. Wait. 8? Wait, no, 16. Hannah, get in. Where are you, Hannah? There you are. This will be the cast. This will not be the teams, but, this will be, the 16 that will appear. there will be 18 episodes in total drama, some vacation. So yeah. So I have a bit more leeway. It'll be more obvious. So yeah. I hope you like watching this. I know it's a very small rewrite, but I feel like there's not much to talk about because there's only 13 episodes. I would have ramped it up to 16 episodes if there was more cast members, but I feel like the normal 13 would do it, and they will have the normal intro like in Revenge of the Island, but for some vacation it would be the same, but like world tour, but it's summer vacation themed in Hawaii. So yeah, maybe just like the one on that old one, but still, there'll just be 16 cast members for the rest of the season. But also, I feel like two more contestants get introduced, being Fiore and um, Alessio in Total Drama Winterfication. But I feel like 18's good enough for this. Like, not 18. I feel like 16's good for this. Wait. Yeah, 16. So it'll just be keeping the 16 player cast. So yeah, guys, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time for the next video, which I think it's going to be the Duke video that I've been going up for like my 80th anniversary of Thomas and Friends video. It might be that, maybe not, because I'm very busy at the moment. Because it either be this or some vacation. So I'll see you then, and goodbye.